Okay, maybe this time. Episode 1, Season 1, Tracy, Chris, living the dream with nobody listening. The new tagline.
Nobody listening.
That's right. So, Tracy, what's going on? How you doing today?
Good, man. Got my garage door fixed this morning. $330 later.
I thought you said it was on warranty.
It was, but they charged me for the service.
Oh, well, that's a lot of money.
Well, it would have been $550. So.
Well, at least you can get your motorcycles out now.
I can get my motorcycles back out.
Yeah. This guy's been deprived. Hasn't been able to ride at all.
Let's see. Yesterday was 72 degrees, sunny, and I couldn't get my motorcycle out of the garage. Yeah, it sucked.
Couldn't you don't you have a side door in your garage? No escape?
No escape.
Oh my gosh. That's
Just
sad.
the door.
That's sad. I think you need to take that $390 and put it in one of them doors on the side because you got room over there.
Yeah.
No?
It would take more than $330 to put a door in.
Yeah, probably. But anyway. So, got yourself a new mic.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? It sounds good?
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
Yeah. Last week it was a little bit
It picked up everything.
Yeah,
This one
picked up
seems
a little bit
Yeah,
everything.
this one seems to do a better job.
So, what do you want to talk about this week?
Well, I know we had a few topics that we discussed.
Oh, you want to clarify something, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly right. So
we talked about some topics for safety and different things like going into neutral and first gear when you come to a stop or a stoplight. So I thought we could talk a little bit about that and go over some of that. I did want to go back and talk. Last time we talked about the S&S exhaust for the Nightster Special, and I changed my mind based on some reviews that I've seen.
Oh, so you might try it, huh?
I might try it. I thought maybe you and I could install it this spring and give it a little review of our own.
I charge $92 an hour.
Oh shit, you're like Harley.
Exactly right.
you hit their ballpark, didn't
but it's
you?
going to be, pristine.
Oh, will
work.
it?
Yeah. You won't have no scratches.
You won't leave any prints on the exhaust?
No prints, no nothing.
All right.
I wipe that sucker down. It doesn't look like nobody ever touched it.
All right.
It'll just sound better.
That's what I'm going for. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about, like you said, that safety stuff, and then we're going to talk maybe some weather, some good riding weather.
Yeah, I seen that coming forward. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, this Sunday is going to be like almost 70 degrees.
I know.
Don't tell nobody.
I think you just did.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, this is local Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio area, tri-state area. So that's where the weather's going to be great at.
Right.
For the first time this year. And
Well, actually, yesterday was the best day.
Yeah,
that we've
yesterday
had
was
so
probably
far.
yeah. So, but I was working.
And I was with the garage that wouldn't open.
Yeah, I had to do a double. I had somebody sick at work, so I had to open, and we had inventory, so I had to do inventory for produce.
And now you're here doing this podcast.
Now I'm here. No sleep.
You made
I'm ready to go.
I'm proud of you.
I know. But anyway, let's get started. So, hey, let's talk about the weather.
Okay.
Okay, because I think a lot of people want to get out and ride. So tomorrow it's going to drop down 30 degrees and going to be low of 19.
My estimates is 47 degrees. It's going to drop from 66 to 19 overnight. That's a big drop.
So no riding tomorrow.
It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, unless you want to go to breakfast. Breakfast and bike somewhere.
I don't think so.
Thursday, it goes up a little bit warmer, but no chance of rain. That's good.
Yeah.
And then Friday, back up to 48.
It does say mostly sunny. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you can handle 45 degrees, that's not bad.
Heated grips, heated seat, heated clothing.
I don't mind 45, but you start getting down below 40, then I get a little bit not so thrilled to ride.
Now, there is supposed to be some bad storms tonight.
Now they're talking hail.
And you're pretty light. Are you going to, or tornadoes, possible tornadoes?
Yeah, I heard that too.
So you're pretty light. You're going to strap yourself down in that bed tonight?
No, I'm going to strap myself down here.
Yeah, but the best day, it looks like right now, is going to be Sunday.
67, yep.
Yeah.
Little bit of chance of rain, but not much. 10%.
Yeah, just 10%.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Partly cloudy.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see you guys out there. We'll be riding around.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be working, but I'm off.
I might ride to work if it stays like that.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. So let's get started on some clarifying some stuff that you said last week.
Yeah. So last week we talked about the exhaust for my bike, the 23 Nightster Special, and we talked about the S&S being one of the only options for the exhaust. And I said that the reviews originally that I had seen didn't make it look that appealing and that much better than the factory. But after doing some research, I went to Revzilla.com, and they only have 8 reviews, so it's not a lot. It's 8 perspectives, but it's all 5 stars. And apparently, the one guy said it was a game changer for the bike and its sound.
Paid.
You think so? You think it's paid for? That could be, man. You never know. But I mean, at least there's 8 different perspectives on here, and they all seem to be very thrilled. The one reviewer said that he did end up taking the baffle out, and that gave it a little bit more growl. So,
Is it removable or is it?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it is.
Gotcha.
It is removable. Yeah. So that may be something if I do end up purchasing it, you and I could install it in the spring for your $92 fee that you just told me about.
Yeah, exactly right. Nothing's for free.
Nothing's free. You don't drink beer? You, in the old days, you could say, "I'll buy you a case of beer and we're good," right?
Exactly.
But
I can't bring it in the side door of the garage.
no, I don't have a side door. Yeah, that'd be a problem. But anyway, it looks like it might be something worth giving a shot and giving it a go.
All right,
Maybe
well,
do a proper
order it
review.
right here, right now. Let's do it.
Let me think on it. It's still close to $400.
Well, maybe they'll hear this podcast and they'll send it to you for free.
Would they? It'd be nice.
But yeah,
remember I just said I spent $330 on the door today, so I gotta
yeah, it's expensive stuff.
expensive stuff.
Luckily, I haven't had no issues with my garage doors yet. So them springs, they do break.
Now, do you have a double door or do you have 2 single doors?
I have a double door.
So that's what I have. Yeah, that's what the guy said.
Well, I mean, I have 2 doors, so I can get out when it breaks.
So you have single doors.
Yeah.
So that makes those are a lot lighter. So
Yeah.
they hold up a little better on those. So
All right, so that's good. So one of the safety things that we wanted to discuss, and hopefully, what our plans are on this is hopefully get this thing on YouTube and get some video going. We got face for radio, so it might not be too pleasant. But we want to do that so we can get some comments. We have a website,
Right.
ironponylife.com.
correct.
You can sign up there and you can do some comments there, and we're going to start putting these. Well, actually, the one podcast is only on there,
Right.
the test podcast,
Right, the test one.
and then you can make some comments and tell us how we're doing.
Well, and hopefully we'll improve as we move forward too.
yeah, because we suck.
No, we don't suck. We just got to improve.
But what we want to do is we want to kind of focus on bikes and safety, and also we also have some rides that we're going to be doing on weekends, and invite people.
Correct.
That live in this area. We don't want nobody to come 1,200 miles just ride a half hour.
Right.
They're going to be longer than half an hour, but
It'll be local, mostly local stuff. Yeah.
local. But anyway, ironponylife.com. We also have the YouTube there.
Correct.
We have Facebook, which you don't know about.
Not yet.
And then we have a Twitter.
Okay.
And somebody's doing social media. I don't know who it is yet. We got to volunteer somebody. One of our wives.
One of our wives will be. Yeah, they look like they're ready.
Yeah, they're up there chit-chatting away. So, but anyway, yeah, that's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so hopefully people enjoy the road to
Yeah.
our greatness.
Yeah, I feel like once we get going and developing here, we'll have some good content for people to listen to, and hopefully at the end of the day, maybe they learn something from it, and maybe we'll learn something from it.
And then some of these safety things that we're going to have a little fun with it. We don't want it to be boring. We don't want to be like some kind of narrator, like, you want to turn left and use your turn signal, that kind of stuff. We want it to be, funny.
Right.
But also safety at the same time.
At the same time.
So one of my thoughts was to talk about is, and one of the biggest, accidents for motorcycles getting hit from behind.
Correct.
Yeah.
At stop signs.
At stop signs.
lights.
Yep. And there's a discussion sometimes that you go in these forums is like, do you put it in neutral or do you keep it in first gear?
So what do?
I keep it in first gear.
I keep mine in first gear as well.
And I also try to keep a little distance from the car in front of me.
So where do you stop at behind the car if a car's in front of you?
Since I got a touring bike, I usually try to do 10 feet.
Back?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what I'm asking is like, where at in the lane are you at when you stop?
Well, I like to be kind of on the right side sometimes. Unless I'm riding with somebody, I'll be on the left side. But I want to escape route.
Right. So not directly behind.
Exactly.
So yesterday I was driving home from work, and I was in the car. I wasn't on my bike, and I seen two. Well, it was a nice day, so like we talked about.
Yep.
I seen two sport bikes. It was a young girl and a young boy, young guy, and not only were they goofing around, but they were parked directly behind the car. And I was thinking to myself, what if the car coming up behind them, doesn't see them, doesn't stop, and runs into both of them, and they get smashed.
Texting.
Yeah, and they get smashed into the car in front of them. And the reason why I was thinking that is because I've actually witnessed 2 accidents with motorcyclists in that area from getting hit from behind. The girl was in neutral, and the way I know that is she was goofing off and jumping up and down on her bike and throwing her hands in the air. So she obviously had it in neutral. She had no escape route whatsoever at all, like not even at all. So my thoughts were, we talked about this for this podcast. For people out there, you can be in neutral, but if you're going to be in neutral, in my opinion, you better be off to the left or the right and not directly behind that, because your reaction time to get it back into gear and get out of the way, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not. And it's a difficult situation. Luckily, we haven't been in it.
No, but we also are prepped to do the right thing too, which helps.
And there's a lot of people that they're texting, they're arguing with their girlfrione.
They don't pay attention.
They don't pay attention.
Yeah, there's so many drivers out there that don't pay attention. It's unreal.
Exactly. So, and one of the other things I do is I put one foot down. It's on my shifter side, and one's on the clutch. Another one's looking at the rear mirror.
Yeah.
And ready to go.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
And I'm squeezing back and forth the brake because I got one of them flashers.
And it'll flash when you're doing
flash, because I want people to know that I'm stopped. Give them every advantage to get their attention.
Right.
If you don't do anything, like there's some helmets. I sent you a link.
Yeah, I saw that. Those were nice.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember what that was called. That was really cool. It was new.
Yeah, where they have built-in lights, and they flash, and they actually work with your bike. There's a little attachment you hooked up to it, so it knows when you're braking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's not like motion. Like there's one out there you have that's kind of a vibrationless. Like it knows when it's stopping.
Right.
And it's not accurate all the time. So sometimes it's just flashing. But I think anything that you can promote use for safety would be great.
Well, and that company that you sent me they also had a backpack that has built-in turn signals and built-in brake lights that actually connect to your bike if you have a smart bike or whatever you want to call it, and it works like that as well.
Yeah. So what do you do? I guess if you go to our website, we have some comments there. We'll probably, when we go live on YouTube, we probably will turn the comments off. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of idiots out there that just want to smack their mouths about,
I don't see the link now.
about motorcycles and stuff like that. But motorcycle people are good people.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
And they're probably the most caring. They're the ones that want to help you all the time.
Well, and they understand the risk that they're in when they put their leg over the bike too. Especially people our age and that's been riding a while. So
yeah, your age is right. Didn't you just have a birthday?
Yeah, 50.
50, my gosh.
I know, right?
And you're looking old.
I know, I feel it.
We're gonna have to get a makeup artist to help you out when we get on YouTube.
I don't think makeup will do the trick, dude.
Facelift? Yeah, can you get an appointment? Get some prices.
They can nip and tuck all they want. I don't think it's going to change a whole lot. So I found that link. It was VATA 7, VATA 7. And again, they have the helmet and they have the backpack. It looks like they're about $350 a piece.
By the way, they're no sponsor.
No,
we don't have any sponsors.
We don't
worry about that. We're just talking about safety products here. But we don't know how good they are. We don't know if they even work. But I'm just saying there's stuff coming out on the market
that's trying to improve, things to help motorcyclists out. Yeah, but the helmet's really cool. It's got turn signals on both sides of the helmet, and then on the back has the running brake light that goes on the back of it. So it's a pretty cool looking helmet.
I think that's the future.
I do too. And the connectivity with the Bluetooth and all these other things that they have, I think.
And I think, they're probably going to have batteries in these things, right?
Probably.
They'll keep your head warm in the winter.
Oh,
when you're charging it.
So now you're talking heated helmets. I've never had an issue with my head being cold. My hands are the biggest thing. It's the hands that always bother me.
Maybe they'll have built-in fans, when it's like 110 degrees, sitting out there on a stoplight, waiting for somebody to jackknife you in the back.
You got a heated helmet.
You got a AC. It's cooling you off.
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, so
flip it a different way.
So the future, future's bright.
It is. Yeah. It is.
I don't know about e-bikes, but yeah, I like mine sounding pretty good.
Well, I'm going to tell you the CEO of Harley said that's the future of Harley is electric bikes. So.
But look what the kind of bike they just brought out, that ST. It's got some horsepower.
Yeah.
It's a nice bike.
Well, I don't think it's going to be power is going to be an issue with the electric bikes. This is going to be how long the charge lasts. It's going to be one thing, and the second thing is the sound is going to be too quiet. Mm-hmm. How are they going to develop the sound? Because that's what people go for.
Yeah. So if you're local in Northern Kentucky, Indiana, and Cincinnati, Ohio area, there's an Indian group called Northern Kentucky IMRG. You can look them up on Facebook, and they have some rides that got coming up here. So look at the events here. Let's see what we got here, because they just invited me to a bunch of them. So Saturday, March 16th at 9 a.m., they're going to have the first ride of the season of 2024, and we're going to Yellow Springs, Ohio, I think.
Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Yeah.
Where's that?
It's up there by Dayton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you shoot up 75?
Yeah, Springfield kind of area up there. So that's going to be a nice ride. And I do know that we're going to have one to Little Nashville, which that's going to be a nice ride.
In Indiana?
Yeah. That's going to be a nice
that
ride.
area is really nice.
Yeah. So that's going to be the closest one, I think. It's going to be March 16th, the first ride of the season.
Did your weather report go that far ahead? Do you remember?
No. So it's February, March, April, May. Got to get your months right.
You said March.
I
16th.
know. I'm just giving you a hard time. And then we have a meet and greet. Let's see when that one's going to be. At March 20th at 6:30, and that's going to be at Buffalo Bob's Family Restaurant in Union, Kentucky. I think that's what that is.
Maybe.
And they're going to start doing bike night. I'll have to look at that. It's going to be down there by Boone Lick State Park or something like that. There's a place down there. We'll have to get some more information about that one. But Quaker Steak, they no longer have them bike nights because they're gone. And it's right next to Harley. But they're going to have it at another location that they're going to start up every Thursday night.
Well, and I know that I think Hooters picked up bike night too, which is right there off of.
It's a pretty small area, though.
Yeah, it's pretty small. Not a lot. You can't get a lot of bikes there.
Yeah, so we'll get some more information about that when it gets closer.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still in shock about Quaker Steak going out. That was a real sudden thing.
Yeah, well, every time I went there, I liked the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The food wasn't great.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Food
you're in the food service, you gotta
have good food.
Gotta have good food, yeah. And then maybe people had positive experiences there, but it was more or less the atmosphere of the bike night that was really bringing people there.
That was where they're drawing, yes.
And even we went there a couple times. It wasn't like as booked,
No.
You still had a seat.
There was a lot of bikes out there, but the people weren't coming in to eat.
Yep.
So, yeah, I agree.
Okay. So what else do you want to talk about?
Well, one of the other things
He's getting old.
No, I'm not.
He forgot.
One of the other things I wanted to talk about was we were talking about the bikes on our last podcast, and I wanted to talk about some of the bikes that Harley didn't announce that disappointed me back in January.
Okay, go ahead.
So one of the first ones was the Harley Bronx. It's kind of a concept bike, I think, right now currently. Again, these are lower CC bikes, and they are missing the boat on that category. me bring that up real quick. It's a beautiful looking bike, but it's geared towards the younger crowd, which I know that's what their sports dress is supposed to be. But here's a look at what it kind of would look like, and it kind of puts me in the mind of like a Honda CB series bike. It's kind of a hyper naked type bike. But then also they had the 350X and the 500X. And interesting enough, they did release it in Australia, and it's doing extremely well there. So it's something, and I watched a YouTube review on it from a guy from Australia, which they're so funny to listen to talk. Have you ever listened to Australians
Little
talk?
accent.
Yeah, they're awesome to listen to. But the guy really was blown away by not only the looks of the bike, but the power that it had for that size engine. So I'd be interested to see them get into that market here in the United States. They're going to have to make a change. We talked last time about how they were losing money, and I think last year they claimed a $125 million loss as a company. So at some point, they're going to have to do something to turn those numbers around.
I think that was the live wire that was messing up. They didn't make that much money, or they got so much money invested.
They invested a lot of money in that, in the electric. Yeah, so that's probably where some of their losses are coming from, I'm sure.
I'll tell you what a bike company that's up and coming in the United States is Royal Enfield.
Oh, I 100% agree, and I actually have one.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love it.
A little thing about Tracy, he doesn't like big bikes. He likes these little bikes. So whenever Harley's got some kind of, little test, a little small bike, it looks like a Japanese bike. He's all over it. He's like, I'm loving it, man.
I know, man.
It's like McDonald's.
I have a bike fetish, you can call, I guess. I like all kinds of bikes. If I were Jay Leno, I would have a bike garage like Jay Leno has a car garage. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. One time you had about 6.
The max I've had at one time was 6. I got down to 5, and now I'm down to 3.
So what do you think about that Royal Enfield?
I like it a lot.
A little underpowered.
It is. I mean, I would definitely not get on the highway with it for sure. It's a 350. It only boasts 20 horsepower, so it's made for commuting, like small town. But it rides smooth, it shifts smooth, it's fun. It's got a great sound coming out of the exhaust, a little backfire, which I like. But again, I wouldn't get on the highway with it because, especially here in Florence, Kentucky, you'll get your butt run over for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they also got 650s now coming out.
Yeah, so they launched a Super Meteor 650, which boasts, I think, close to 47 horsepower, which equals pretty much like the Iron 883 from Harley. It's a nice looking bike. It's not my.
Goes a little faster.
It goes a little faster. It's not my style, but they've got another one that they're going to launch later this summer, I believe, here in the United States, called the Shotgun 650. It's got the same engine, same platform, but it's got that hyper naked look that I like. So
you're gonna probably test drive these, right? Test ride.
I'm definitely going to test drive the Shotgun.
You gonna film it?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, let's do it.
We can do that.
Let's do a review on it.
I mean, we go to Indian all the time. We might as well. That's where we'd be.
Yeah, Northern Kentucky Indian.
You're right.
Let's give them a little spot here.
Give them a little spot on our podcast.
But yeah, and then you also got high stakes Harley. We can't forget them.
Yeah.
But I go to a different. I go to a couple different ones.
We may have to venture out from.
Yeah, I might go to bluegrass.
I was thinking bluegrass, and not only that, they got a nicer area to test ride too.
No dishing on them, but I mean, it's just a small place.
Yeah, it's just small, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they did pick up a new parking lot to work with.
Yeah.
With Quaker State going out.
They can do some learning there now.
Yeah. Maybe
training.
Harley will buy that building and open up a training center there or something.
But I like the dish on Harley Davidson. So I look at that bike and it looks like kind of a Japanese bike.
It does. But I think that's what they're going for. They're trying to compete with Honda and Yamaha and Kawasaki and that nature.
But I don't think I don't think it's gonna work out for them.
I beg to
Everybody
differ.
loves them bikes.
Well,
them cross rockets.
Again, you got to think
they got
about
their preferences. They're not looking at Harley.
So you and I are 50, right? We're 50, and we're looking at we like classic looking motorcycles. We like classic sounding motorcycles, right? You do, I do, we both do. But we're talking about the generation coming up.
Reckless.
Most of them will be on crotch rockets, yes. But we're talking about the kids that are growing up and what would appeal to them. And I think that's where Harley has to change a little bit. And I think that's what they're trying to do. I mean, obviously, they've got more brains behind it than you and I. But I think that's the market they got to go after.
To be honest with you, I think the younger crowd, and sometimes they're in their 30s and 40s, correct?
Right.
And they're riding them super fast motorcycles down the interstate, passing everybody, going between two cars.
Are we talking about the ones that end up dead, or?
Well, in the future maybe, but I think they just give us a bad rep. You know what I'm saying?
They do.
I think that's the person that that you're passing them, and there's somebody probably just blew by them like going 90 miles per hour, and then here you come with your touring bike next to him, and he treats everybody, all the motorcycles the same, and he's like, you ain't gonna do that to me, so I'm gonna pull in front of you.
Right.
People don't understand, what happens in people's minds when they're driving down the road and somebody goes past them going 200 miles per hour on a motorcycle, and then you have another person that's just having a fun ride,
right?
And that person's already upset, mad, and
because it does get to you.
Yeah, it does. It's like,
so I was coming from downtown Cincinnati back over to here. So I was on 75. Okay, it's already a crazy busy highway section there on 75. I mean, we all know that, right? It's a cut and hill, dangerous area, and I'm going 80 miles an hour, which I believe if you go look at the speed limit, it's probably 60. So I'm already 15 to 20 miles over the speed limit because you have to. Okay, because you have to stay up with traffic and go. These three motorcyclists come flying by me, and I'm telling you, my 80 miles an hour wasn't even, it looked like I wasn't even moving when they went by. And what's even worse about what they were doing, the speed's one thing. They were all three standing up.
Yeah, and we're probably going to get some hate from this, but, this is the truth.
It's the truth. It's what we see. Yeah. It's what we see. And so, at some point when and it's hard to talk about this kind of stuff because you're talking about fatalities, and you never want to talk about fatalities. But when you see something like that, that's the first thing that hits your head is like, they're going to get killed.
Yeah.
And it may not be today.
Yeah.
It may not be today, but in your brain, you see that, and that's the first thing that I think about is they're not going to survive.
So pickup truck, motorcycle, who wins?
Pickup truck every time.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like it's always pickup trucks that do this kind of things.
Or an F-150 or, sure. Or, like what your truck is.
Yeah, it's a mindset.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, man, I'm going to pull out in front of him.
And here's the thing. At that speed that they were going at, number one is bad. We already discussed that. But number two is standing up. What control are they going to have when they have to make a maneuver? You know what I mean? Crazy. Because they're gonna what do you call that? The wobble. They're going to wobble that thing out, and it's not going to look good, man.
Exactly, especially if they do some wheelies and they come down too hard.
Right.
And they're usually not wearing, protective clothing.
No, the first guy in this ride was in a T-shirt, and I mean, he had no helmet. Completely. I'm just reckless.
But it's a free country.
It is.
And they're breaking the rules. They're breaking the laws.
Right.
So, but it's to each his own, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I go down the road on my touring bike, and I'd sometimes hit 90. I was hitting 90 riding with probably about 80 motorcycles. You had to go that fast, you got to feel comfortable about it. Ride your ride.
You do. On my bike, the most I hit is 5 to 10 miles over the speed limit, and that's because that's what I want to maintain.
Yeah, me and him went on a ride once, and I went around a corner.
I was over the speed limit.
I had to go turn around. It took me 3 miles to catch back up.
I was over the speed limit the whole ride. You were just going way faster.
I was standing on my bike a couple times. I was getting tired. I was getting cramps because I was going like 5 miles per hour before you catch up.
No, you weren't. Stop it.
But yeah, I mean, it's good to listen to this stuff and hear about other people's stories, and it's we don't want to diminish that motorcycle group, that people are riding.
Right.
I mean, some people have touring bikes. They have them cross rockets. They love them because they go fast.
Right.
Just be safe about it.
Well, and that's the whole thing. Going back to those three that were on that particular day, I think it was last summer this happened. If they were sitting down and they had their gear on and they were riding like that and looked like they were professional riders, it'd be one thing. But they looked like hooligans to me with no gear. And, let's just say that pickup truck you just talked about, throws a pebble at that kid in the T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's going to take at his speed. It's going to throw him off his game.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So anyway, you got that. Was it X350
Yeah,
motorcycle?
so I brought up the X350. Again, you know, this is, and it actually even shows Australia as the carrier for this particular bike. It says AU, so Australia.
Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, I want to make sure you understood. But yeah, to me, this is a gorgeous bike, especially for a beginner to start out on for Harley Davidson.
Now that looks more kind of modern, traditional, like cafe kind of bike, I guess.
Yeah, cafe style.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, I think that could do potentially well in the United States. But what I'm saying is the other bikes, they just look too sporty.
So you look at the Sportster S. What do you think of the Sportster S?
I think that's a good bike for a learner.
The Sportster S? That's a 1250cc engine. Are you sure?
Well, yeah, it's a smart bike. But I mean,
it's smaller for you because you're 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4". But yeah, so I think it's a nice bike. But yeah, you're right. But it looks more traditional, though. It's not like I'm talking about the one you just showed us a few minutes ago.
The X350?
No, the one before that.
Oh, the one
that was
the Bronx.
Yeah, the Bronx. That bike is more
futuristic.
Futuristic. And maybe there's a time where Harley Davidson will be really good at that, or people will look at that, and they have to reach out to
that demographic.
Yeah, but their budget is going to have to be really small at first, and they're going to spend some money for advertisements.
I think that's the reason why they haven't released here yet. Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure about the Bronx, but the X350 and the 500X are both coming from China.
Okay,
I believe they're being, built.
I think most of their parts are.
Well,
China now.
they probably are, but I'm just saying they're actually being built in China as well. If
Indian,
I'm not mistaken.
United States,
right?
USA.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Yeah. Honestly, if it saved us money, would you care if the bike came from China or if it came from here? If it saved you, let's just say it saved you $5,000, and you like this bike, you didn't know where it came from, but it saved you $5,000. Would you care if it came from China?
Probably about 10 years ago, probably would, but now it's everything.
Because you already know the
you're kind of used to that.
You're used to it, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, Americans want to make a lot of money per hour, and that bike has to be budgeted for that. And hey, I'd want to make as much money as I could, but you got to have buyers that want to spend that much money. So yes, people look at importing stuff. It's going to be a lot cheaper, it's a shame.
It's just, I mean.
So on your exhaust, it goes 2-to-1 on that new one.
On the Sportster S.
Yeah, that new exhaust you're talking about.
Does mine?
Because that looks like it's got two, exhausts on it.
Yes.
Okay.
You talking about for the nicer? Yes.
Yeah,
it goes 2-to-1. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a 2-to-1. There. Take a
You should have bought it. You got a $200 credit
right there.
Yeah.
I do.
Hey, it popped up. You exited out. Said $200.
Yeah.
Rebate.
I wish. If I did, I'd already hit the buy button. Trust me.
But anyway, so what else you got?
Well, let me pull that 500 up too, just so we can compare.
Indian motorcycles.
Well, we can talk about Indian as well. I know you're an Indian guy. You're hating talking about these Harleys, aren't you?
Nah, they're okay. They're a new bike. They're a new lineup. I'd probably buy one if I had the chance. I mean, they're nice looking bikes, but they seem to be a little bit smaller than the Pursuit or the Challenger.
Are you talking about the Harleys?
Yeah, I did test ride one, and it seems to be a smaller, compact bike. The newer ones, the 2024s.
Yeah, I was reading that they cut some weight out of those too.
Yeah.
I actually got an email from Harley today, and that was one of the things they were touting, was that they had some weight reduction in their new bikes.
I think Indian can do the same thing. I mean, there's a lot of parts on there that probably could be eliminated.
But now you like the center of gravity on the Indians better than the Harley, correct?
Well, the new 2024s has a better center of gravity.
Oh, for the Harley?
Yeah. I think the rear shock the suspension is 2 inches higher. So it gives you a little bit more nimble ability whatever that. I just made that word up. But
It did sound made up.
yeah,
I was like, what are you saying?
it's a little bit more
A
nimble.
little bit more nimble. That
Yes,
sounds better.
exactly.
Yeah.
But hey, we're not professionals here. We can make mistakes.
That's
We're not
true.
reading off a screen.
No, we're just shooting the breeze about motorcycles.
Exactly
man.
right. Hey, and speaking of that, we're gonna have some guests.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna work on some guests.
Yes, we are.
So we're gonna get a new mic, and we're gonna invite some people.
We'll bring some people on board.
Yeah. So if you go to hopefully tomorrow, there'll be a form. If you listen to this, and you go to our website, there'll probably be a form there. If you would like to be a guest.
Yeah, that double shift really got you, didn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly. It's not having enough sleep got me. There'll be a form there, and then Tracy's gonna, what do they call that when you go through the list and make sure they're gonna be compatible to this podcast. We don't want no crazy people, right? So vet them. Tracy's gonna vet them.
I can do that.
Yeah. I don't want to do anything.
You've done a lot already. You do a lot of work on this, man.
Exactly. Yeah. So I got to share responsibility.
Believe it or not, there is a lot that goes into doing these things.
Exactly.
And like you said, we're just starting out, so we got a lot of improvement, but we're going to get there.
Yeah. So like us, share us, whatever you can do to help us out. Like we said, right now we're doing this with just learning, and nobody's listening.
Well, and also I want to add to that before you, like you said, but if you are listening and you want to suggest some topics for us, we'd be more than happy to take those suggestions and put together some more content for you.
Yeah, sign up to the website. Get us some feedback.
And then we can, do some research and talk about it. I know that we just spoke earlier about the youth riding crazy, and we'll talk about that stuff. We're not afraid to talk about that, and we'll talk about things we see out there on the open road too, like we just did earlier, because it helps make awareness for people. And when you're on your bike and you're ready to twist that throttle, maybe you'll give it a thought and be like, you know what, that guy said this could happen if we do this. Maybe we want to think about that.
Yep, I completely agree. So what do you think, man? Is this one over with?
I think it is.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Once again, your favorite music.
No, we got to change it. We got to get that gone.
Maybe we'll invite our wives next time for our first guest.
Maybe.
I do have a mic.
I got a mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do it.
Exactly.
It looks like they're in pretty deep conversation.
See y'all later.
See ya.